my sense of humor for sure was mostly influenced by, well, my dad. My dad was a very funny guy.
Yeah.
He was definitely that. He was the comedian of all his buddies, and he worked with a lot of characters, especially at the toy company. But his him always being like holding court and being the funny guy at large events, whether it was a church event or with amongst their friends, I picked up on that at a very early age, that people loved how funny he was.
Yeah.
And so he was a big influence, but then also like Saturday Night Live, which I
Yeah.
mean, to me it's still the glory days. I'm not one of those like, you kids, your SNL is not my SNL, it's not
Right.
like that, but I still, that cast was my favorites of like Mike Myers and Dana Carvey and Phil Hartman. And then the early years of like Chris Farley and David Spade and those guys coming in, like
Yeah.
that's what I grew up with at the right, like they were prominent right when my sense of humor was really starting to get defined.
Yeah.
And so that was why I started doing stand-up, is because I wanted to be on SNL. And then movie-wise, I loved slapstick, like Airplane and Naked Gun and
Yeah.
movies like that, where like I love wordplay and puns. So those movies were always really funny to me. Caddyshack, Fletch, um, those movies really shaped my early sense of humor. And then when I was in college, it was a lot of like the Adam Sandler, Happy Gilmore, Billy Madison, Tommy Boy, movies like that, that came out, that started veering me down that road even further towards SNL and wanting to do stand up as like a springboard to hopefully get to SNL. And then I just fell in love with stand up, and that's what I've done ever